Hey guys, today we're talking ranunculus, and I actually have a couple things I'm doing this year that's different from previous years. So I grow in a 6A in Missouri, so we have very clay soil, clay-like soil, and we're wet most of the year, and we get really hot summers, and we have really short fall and spring, and a really long winter. So ranunculus are a little bit tricky for me. I have grown them in the past, and I could get a few blooms out of them, but really nothing near what I need to get out of them. So I've had to adjust my way of thinking about ranunculus, and so this year I've done a couple things. I started some corms probably December 1st. It was December 1st that I started the corms. And then I have a few more that I'm going to start today. And then I've got some I'm going to save back to see if I can plant them directly into the ground and see if I can't get them to come up a little better than they usually do. So ranunculus are from Europe and from Asia, parts of Asia. And so the message I'm getting from that is that they like to be kind of cloudy, have cloud cover, because Europe is very cloud covered, and so are parts of Asia. So I've done some research and seen where a lot of people use shade cloth, which I do have some. I don't have the amount necessary to cover a whole bed, so I'm going to have to order some more shade cloth, because once they do go out, I plan on putting that over the tunnel. So the ones that I started December 1st, and I'll show you those later, have come along pretty good. I planted about, I think it was 40, somewhere around between 20 and 40 corms, and I plan to leave those indoors the entire time. So I'm gonna attempt to grow those actually indoors, because if that works, I think that's the way I would prefer to do it, because then I have more control over the weather, the temperature, the light, everything. So, but if they work outside, that would be awesome too. So we're just gonna see what works best and go from there. All right, here are the corms that I started December 1st, and today is January the 17th, I believe. And as you can see, they're doing pretty good. I give them a once a week feeding with seaweed fertilizer and water, and other than that I don't water them more than that. If they start getting really bushy and the soil starts looking really dry, I might pick that watering up a little bit. They do like water, so I can overwater these a little and still get away with it, although the corms tend to rot if they get too much water, so it's kind of a delicate balance. I've noticed on some of these I'm getting some browning on the leaves, and I'm not exactly sure why that is. I did put some slow release fertilizer in here, and I'm wondering if that might be the problem. But that should work itself out, because it's not like I can go in there and retrieve the slow release fertilizer. So I'm just gonna keep feeding it and hoping that things get better. Okay, so here we are. I have my plastic tote. It's about 18 inches by 2 feet, maybe smaller. I started my ranunculus last year in this same way. It kind of dispenses with the having to use individual pots, which I like. And the ranunculus don't grow enough that they need to be potted up before they go out. So I didn't have any trouble separating my ranunculus last year from this to put them in the ground. So that's what we're going to do this year. I have 3 kinds I'm going to plant today. I have a pastel lemon, a wedding pastel, and one kind called porcelain. So these are 3 that I haven't tried before, so I'm really excited to try them. Ranunculus have to be 2 inches below the soil surface. So this dirt line right here has about 4 inches underneath it. I'm gonna put the ranunculus here, and then I'm gonna cover them with more dirt. And this is not a seed starting mix, this is a growing mix, and I have watered it down. It was pretty desiccated, so it's looking good now. So I'm going to start with the porcelain, and you may be asking yourself, did I pre-sprout these, or did I soak them in water? And I did not. They're just coming straight out of the bag onto the dirt. I'm not worried about those things, because they'll have plenty of time to grow before they have to go outside. And I'm going to put these pretty close together. basically doing a 5 by 12. So here's a corm. You can see them as I'm placing in the ground. They're pretty dried up and nasty, but they're going to be beautiful. And here in Missouri, we can't leave our corms in the ground. So once they die, once they yellow, just take them out of the ground. You can clean them off if you want to. You want to store them dry because they will rot if they get too wet. And at that time, if necessary, you can divide your corms. I personally think that if you divide them too much, they don't perform as well. So make sure they're pretty big before you start dividing them. Okay, so that's one. I'm gonna put my tag in that has my date on it. That says January 17th, and that says Ranunculus porcelain. Okay, we're gonna do wedding pastel. So as far as ordering ranunculus goes, my advice would be that if you live in a place where you have to dig your corms up every year, that you should order you should order fall planted ranunculus, but plant them in the spring. Because if you order the fall planted, they will definitely be here before you have to start, before you have to put them in the ground. But if you order spring planted, chances are they're going to be too late and you're not going to get them to grow before it gets too hot. I think I'm just going to get 2 kinds in this one bin. It's getting a little tight. We'll put the others in a different one. Some of these are super tiny and I'm not sure that we'll get anything out of them. Okay, I've got them topped off with dirt, and now I'm just going to water them in real good because this top layer doesn't have any moisture in the soil. The good thing about these plastic containers is that you can see the root growth underneath. You can see if things are drying out or if they're too wet. And so I really love this because it conserves water. Nothing comes out the bottom and I can see everything. Okay, so here we have the final setup. You can see these are the ones I just planted. They have a tag on them on the side there so I can remember what is what with the date on it. Ranunculus are supposed to bloom 90 days after you plant them. So if that is true, then this one should be giving me flowers around March 1st. So I will definitely let you know and catch you up on what's going on with this little experiment. These ones are going to go outside. They can survive a little bit of frost. They are cool flowers. So like the other cool flowers that I have started right now, they will all go out mid-March probably. I like to look at the forecast, and if I can see that there are a cluster of days that the temperature is staying above freezing, I put them out. And then if necessary, you can always go out with frost cloth or whatever. And then I will put these under shade cloth along with the ones I'm going to start outside. I will probably plant those around February.